Can hear me?
Yeah, I can hear
Everyone can hear me.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Okay.
Right.
If I sound like sexier than usual, it's because I have a sore throat from all the whiskey I've been drinking.
Oh, shit. Started out great today, eh?
Yes.
So what's the name of what's the title of our podcast?
I mean, we
this
can
week?
do our actual title.
No, I don't think we ever give up the actual.
No, we're not going to give it.
Never,
Okay.
not once.
It's almost like we don't like
we don't.
we don't like giving context. It's almost like
Oh, boo!
yeah, oh yeah, okay, that's fair. I'll take that.
Don't give it away like that, man.
Yeah, no, no. This week, I think the Black Parade. Yeah,
The Black
welcome
Parade.
to the Black Parade.
Welcome.
When people are like, "That's not my parade. That's not my monkeys," I'm like, "That's not even how the saying goes, you racist."
Jesus Christ. Well, we're off to a ripping start.
We are always. I mean, I just woke up. So, obviously, as it is every week we do this, I just woke up, I show up here, and then I'm like, you know what? I got something to fucking say.
Well, welcome to the Black Parade. We are your hosts. I'm Rob, and with me is Spencer.
That's me.
We like to talk about all the topics that we like to talk about, and it's somewhat topical, but usually never is. So here we are. So what, do you want to start out this week, or is it me starting this week? I forget.
I'll start.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll start.
Rip into this shit.
We'll start with some celebrity news or some what is it? Pop culture?
Our TMC moment.
Yeah, our popular culture. I mean, I guess the main things that happened this week were the SNL thing.
Oh,
The
dude.
50 years of Saturday Night Live.
Talked about that. You're gonna have to hype me up on it because I haven't seen a whole ton of it yet. I watched a little bit of it. I heard there was a fan group in the world that didn't not like Steve Martin's section.
Oh, yeah. I mean, honestly, it's one of those things. Because SNL is an institution.
Oh yeah,
And that's why everyone has an opinion on it.
absolutely.
And
everyone there's insane.
yeah, and so I'm very like, the way that I would watch a stand-up special.
Right.
That's how I watch SNL. Where it's like it's either funny or it's not.
I mean, it's all skit comedy, half stand-up, half improv.
Yeah,
though from everything I've read and watched, it's totally not improv.
Yeah, I mean, and I enjoyed it. I had a good time. There's a sense of this is history. Mm-hmm. And there's an emphasis on history and the people who've done the show or people who've performed in the past and
Right.
things like that. And I enjoy that. Like so I haven't really read any of the reviews or anything like that because I really don't care.
No.
Because I'm just all like, I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it more than most award shows. I think that I watched SNL 40 10 years ago, and that was a good time as well.
Oh, I forgot. Yeah, that happened.
Yeah, no.
I do remember some of those episodes. Like Timberlake was a part of that one and everything, right?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
And I mean, I did see a thing, and they were like, all the notable stars that didn't show up, and I'm like, shut up. Like, who gives a shit? Like, people have lives,
Right.
Like, and I could see how someone who's been on the cast for like 5 years, it could be like, no, I've spent enough time there. Sorry.
I'm only disappointed Farley didn't show up.
Yeah, I mean, I feel that way about my life in general. Like,
But it's dead.
anytime that it overdosed on shitty movies.
Oh man.
But yeah, no, and yeah, no, you're good. That was dark. That was dark for you.
We're doing the Black Parade,
Yeah, that's
baby.
true, I suppose. Yeah, that's literally a black and white music video. But yeah, I enjoyed it. I thought it was a good time. It was funny. It was lots of old people. If you don't like Steve Martin, then fuck you.
Yeah, well,
I will say that.
they did the whole stupid ice thing with Martin Short and all that
Yeah.
shit. That was pretty funny. But
Yeah.
I heard that got kind of hit up by a certain red crew.
Oh yeah, I don't care. Like
Right.
just fucking. If you don't like topical humor,
Oh yeah,
don't watch SNL.
yeah, for sure.
Like that, they've been doing it for 50 years.
Oh yeah,
But because I enjoyed it. There's really nothing funny to say about it,
Yes, that's true.
Yeah.
I did like the Nirvana. We talked a little bit about that yesterday. The Nirvana with Post Malone. I thought that was good.
Yeah.
I think they called it Post Nirvana.
Yeah, no, it's just great, and I enjoyed that because we're Seattle or
Right.
Washington based, so we're if you don't at least know who Nirvana is,
Right.
and what happened with it, and then seeing them again, being like, oh my God, they're getting back. You're a fucking idiot if you don't like that.
They take away your grunge card.
Yeah, but anywho, so my main I have two topics really.
Oh, two topics. Ooh.
One of them is very dear to me because of how much I thought it was so fucking stupid.
Ooh.
And as soon as I saw this, I'm like, okay, first of all, who reported on this? And B, why would they show it to me? Because anybody who knows me knows as soon as I see this, I'm like, you're a fucking idiot, and I'm going to go on a rant. Because, as soon as it came up on my feed, I'm like, oh, is that where you're at? Is that where we're at? You morons. But no, so I will read you the tagline for this, and it starts out with Ariana Grande, and it says, Ariana Grande wants studios and labels to require therapy for young stars. Quote, should be non-negotiable, end quote. And I imagine you can hear the friction in the gears moving in my mind as I read that. Of just like, oh my God, yes, okay, these fucking child millionaires who can afford therapy. Let's give them free therapy because their life is so fucking hard being famous at a young age. Okay? And then, the rest of us who aren't famous and who don't have millions of dollars from a young age, the rest of us should just pay for our own fucking therapy.
Yeah, makes sense.
This is one of the most entitled things I've ever heard in my life. This isn't, if she had even said, I think all children should have therapy, like access to therapy, I'm like, yeah, that's but she didn't say that. She said child stars, these people who, and granted, yes, there are some child stars that have very tragic, whatever happens to them, blah, blah, blah. That really sucks.
Neil Patrick Harris should have had child therapy.
Yeah. I feel like more people should talk to Neil Patrick Harris. He seems like he's doing well despite being a child star. Former child star.
Former child star.
He seems very happy. I follow him on Instagram as well. It's always pictures of his family, and they look happy. And I'm like, why not me?
I would say, all right, maybe a bit of a devil's advocate, maybe a bit of a different look at it. I do think that we should consider that if you are under 18 years of age, employment should maybe include some form of therapy.
I mean, yes, but I think that,
and I guess not rich, not just child actors, but and someone now who's going through a metric ass ton of therapy in his 40s. I think people who even feel like they're in a healthy relationship should have some kind of couples therapy going, things like that. I would say definitely people who are younger and still their brains are still growing or whatever the hell you want to put it. Maybe there should be some allotment for some form of therapeutic coverage.
Yeah, and I agree. I think therapy in general is just a very good thing.
Oh yeah,
and everyone should have a therapist. And honestly, it's
so stigmatized.
Yeah,
it's crazy. What do you need, a therapist? I'm like, yeah, I'd like a therapist. Thank you.
Well, and honestly, I think that therapy would have less stigma if it was free. And it was like, oh, I went and saw my therapist.
Don't you go out on these social outcries for healthcare for everybody. That's crazy.
I know, right? It's almost like every other, free country has it. Which I'm like, so that's why we shouldn't have it. Okay?
No one gets it.
The hipster country of like, isn't that like a little too pop culture to just give everyone
like healthcare?
Yeah. But
was a basic right.
Yeah, no, and that is an important distinction to make, is that I am not anti-therapy.
Right.
Like, I've had therapists, they've been very helpful for my mental health. And that's good. And I think everyone should have it. And honestly, probably the reason I don't have a therapist now is money. Mm-hmm. Where it's like and I think that's probably like, if we did like a poll of people who don't like or who don't have a therapist, I guarantee the top two answers are
fuck that or money.
Yeah. And and the fuck that is literally like, there's nothing wrong with me. And it's like, no, that's not what therapy is.
Right. Yeah.
Which is the stigma.
Right.
And,
exactly.
So I'm not, and that is important. I am not anti-therapy. I'm very pro-therapy. I think everyone should have a therapist. And if nothing else, it's good to have neutral opinions about your life. Mm-hmm. And luckily I have friends who are very honest, and you.
I'm around.
Yeah, where it's like, if I need an honest opinion and I can't afford therapy, I know I can ask you about it. I know I can ask, my other friends about it, because they'll give me an honest answer.
Right.
Which is important. But not everyone has that. Mm-hmm. And I think that going to therapy can give you kind of a baseline of, if my friends are real friends, they're at least this level of honest with me.
Maybe they should actually put it into the school system.
Yeah. No, and honestly, especially...
Like, you should go to, because they have counselors, but maybe you should go to a therapist, for one class, every week or something. I mean, not, I wouldn't make it
like once,
Maybe for you twisted fuck. But.
Yeah, God, where they're like... but you're right. Having that, okay, so...
But it would normalize it.
Oh, absolutely. And, there's...
Our schools already don't teach us enough fucking shit anyway. Yeah. We're not putting it in there.
Well, and there is a difference between public school and private school.
Right.
Where it's like, if you get,
One's for privates.
Yeah, exactly. And, those are the therapists I prefer, are the ones that touch my privates.
I think you and I have been talking about a different kind of therapy the whole time.
What, you mean like a... You mean like a... Wait, therapists don't usually touch you alone in their room?
You're paying for this?
No, they're paying me.
Oh, shit. We've been on the wrong page the whole time, bro.
Oh, my bad. Okay. What were you talking about? No, but no, I do. I think that, but also I'm like, the last people on the planet who need to be given free therapy are rich celebrities.
No, yeah, agreed.
Like,
I think it should just be a requirement of employment.
Well, and also on top of that, there's been so many overhauls over the last 10 years to protect young talent.
Yeah.
Which, is awesome. Like, like the all the documentaries and shit where it's like, no, these kids were kind of ground zero for what mistakes can we make? And then what can we do now to make sure it doesn't happen again? And that's great.
How many other ways can we fuck up Drew Carey?
Yeah, right? Yeah, exactly. So that being said, it's like, okay, so like, yeah, who cares? They're
child actors. Who gives a shit?
Yeah, right.
They got therapists.
Yeah, if they want them. Right. Adult actors probably need it, but who doesn't need therapy? People who have money and are not, stressed. Mm-hmm. I'm not saying all rich people aren't stressed.
Oh, but it's all different levels.
If you're, I can imagine that. Like, I'm trying to think of like
everyone needs
a rich. I can imagine that Leonardo DiCaprio has less stress in his life than I do.
If he keeps dating all these young people, probably not.
I mean,
that's a lot of stress.
Well, to be clear, he dates them. He doesn't talk to them. Like, there's a difference between
that would have been doing wrong.
I know, right? Like,
Jesus.
well, and honestly, that's why. And I'm 32, and that's why. And you know, I've worked at bars for years, and there is a level of like, if you're this age, you're a fucking idiot.
Yeah.
Like there's definitely, I think it's like 25 or 26. After you're 25 or 26, most people are significantly smarter than they were when they were younger than 25 or 26.
Yeah,
And,
they got a few bruises on them at that point. Couple scars.
yeah. And I just sit there and I'm like, if you haven't had a problem in your life, we're not going to be friends. Because you're going to talk to me about something in your life that you consider difficult, and I'm going to be like, I don't have a dad.
Neither do I.
Yeah, right? And so,
Now.
and not to say there aren't people with trauma, we could go on and on about, what is it, trauma bonding?
Yeah.
Or whatever, or,
That's next week's name of our podcast.
yeah, trauma bonding. Yeah, right? That one we should drink beforehand.
I'm with
yeah.
you.
But yeah, so for me, Ariana Grande coming out and being like, I have feelings because I was treated a certain way when I was a child star. And I'm like, yeah, I was never a child star and I have problems. Like I got
Right.
some real fucking problems in my life. And I had some real fucking problems when I was a kid. And I imagine having money wouldn't have helped with that, but it wouldn't have hurt, I was lucky enough. I have a really great mom. And when I was growing up without a dad, she was very supportive. And I'm grateful for that. And I understand that a lot of these child stars, their parents are money hungry assholes who are using their kid to.
Yeah. I mean, I think when you really look at it, there's a lot that should be done there. One, I think there should be an independent handler.
Mm-hmm.
I do agree, at least with therapy included in there. I think they should pay for it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, come on, the amount of money that's getting thrown around there, fucking pay for your therapy. Yeah. So I get where you're coming from. I get where she's coming from. Just a little bit tone deaf on the One Piece, maybe.
Yeah. I guess that would be my overall opinion of it is that it's tone deaf. It's very what is it? It's I forget the word.
I'm sure she would also say everyone should just have 3.
Yeah.
I mean, to be fair. But.
Yeah. So and then we can go with the. I don't know what her full statement was, and maybe that's on whoever reported on this, that they didn't like. Ariana Grande thinks that everyone, including, child stars, should have therapy. And I'm like, that's great.
That probably rings a little truer, but
yeah. Well, and I would probably be like, I would probably like Ariana Grande more if that was how it was reported on, where it's like, oh no, she gives a shit about everyone, not just,
I have to actually ask my girlfriend about this, but she hasn't really watched the Wicked movie because there's apparently been a bunch of little weird, like, political shit around these singers that I don't fully understand, that I've not dug into. But so there's maybe where there's smoke, there's fire. I don't know.
Yeah, no, I think that's a good that could be the name of our podcast actually. Where there's smoke,
there's fire.
Yeah, no, and there's something to be said about like, and I especially now that we're more or less post Me Too, where it's like if there's dirt, it matters, and I'm like, not anymore. Like there are obvious like major crimes that have come up that it's like, people need to be held accountable for that. The Kevin Spaceys of the world and the Harvey Weinsteins of the world, where it's like, hold them accountable. They did terrible things.
Right.
But and I think Liam Neeson called it a witch hunt, and he caught a lot of flack for that. And I'm like, no, there are definite like moments, especially since all of that, where it's like, does this matter? Like, if you don't want to be their friend because of this, that's one thing. But it's like, it's not illegal. It's not. Is it stupid? Maybe, but it's not.
Where's the line in some of that? And I'm not saying that Weinstein and all them shouldn't be, like dragged down to a gutter and shot. What I'm saying is like when I look at what happened, I believe Gunn, who was one of the original directors for the
James Gunn.
James Gunn, yeah, and he was one of the directors for the what's the fucking movie?
The Guardians of
the Galaxy. Thank you. And he had said some stuff in his past. I think it was one, taken a little out of context, but two, back when he was doing stand-up comedy work, and you're gonna say weird shit in there, and Disney dropped him because of what he'd said in the past, and the entire crew pretty much stood up and said, no, like that was something that was done kind of out of context. He's never done that since. And so I think they brought him back for the third one finally or whatever.
Yeah.
And then they kind of finished up that series. But where does is it, I guess maybe the level of the crime versus also like he's had plenty of time since then to kind of change his tune, and how long the internet can hold things forever, but how long is it really who you are now?
Yeah, well, and I think that especially in that situation, remorse is important.
Yeah.
And I also think having people who will stand up for your character is also very helpful.
Yeah.
Where it's like, they're not. And I think that there is a difference between saying something and doing something, and in that instance, he said something, and they fired him, or he was asked to quit or whatever.
Well, he had said, the two things I want to be very specific on there. He had said something 10 years ago, 20 years ago.
Yeah.
And it was drug up after, I believe, the second movie was already even done. And then now he was paying that punishment now?
Yeah. And I think he was only fired for like 2 months.
Yeah, no, the crew went to bat.
Yeah, which is great. And I do think that between that and the fact that he wasn't like doubling down, he was very owning up to it.
Yeah.
And I think even Disney made a statement that was like, because of his candor, since all of this has come out, we don't think that he deserves to not be able to continue his work. And so that's when they hired him back. And I think that honestly, in that case, I think it was handled more or less very appropriately. I don't agree with firing him if they'd done like a suspension.
Right.
And then, brought him back and was like, no, we did an internal investigation. And literally everyone on the planet says this person, even though he made a joke, 20 years ago, 10 years ago, this is not who he is. He's apologized, and he's a great guy.
Okay.
And a great, fair. Which I think that there is a level of also of at what point is an apology not enough, and in this case, I think it was enough. I think that was, him just being like, nope, I said something. I shouldn't have said it. Kevin Hart had a similar thing with the Oscars, where he was going to host the Oscars. Some of his old shit was drug up, and he quit. He wasn't asked to quit. He wasn't fired or anything. He was just like, you know what? This has all this negativity surrounding it. I don't want to do this anymore. Yeah. This was supposed to be a good time, and now it's not. And which is what I would do. I have done that in my personal life, where I'm like, there's so much drama surrounding this one thing. When there's this much drama, I'm not showing up. And it's not because, and it's not because I don't disagree with what's happening. It's usually because I'm like, no matter what I say, it doesn't matter. This is already tainted, and I don't want any part of it, And so that is, I think, the line is, and honestly, I also think there should be like a protective bubble around comedy.
Yeah.
Like, at least for what people say versus what they do, Like,
I agree with that.
If you make a Nazi joke and then you go to Nazi Klan meetings or whatever, fired or canceled or whatever. You make a Nazi joke and some people don't like it, who cares? That's their job. Their job is to... and it's like, if you don't like that, then
we got three options, right?
Well, more than anything, I'm like,
don't listen to it.
Yeah, don't listen to it. completely disregard the last, 20 years at least of comedy, because I think when I think of like the shock comedy genre, I think of Will Ferrell. I think of Will Ferrell as someone who is like, I'm going to say the most wild, incredible shit just because it's so off kilter and people are going to think it's fucking hilarious.
I never thought of him as a shock comedian like that, but okay.
Well, and shock is a strong word, but you look at even his stuff in SNL, it was just, it's so unexpected, the shit that he comes up with, and it's so weird, and it's so different, because and because Adam Sandler, you could argue that Adam Sandler was a very just weird comic, but he wasn't a really shocking comic.
Are you sure? Medium Pace, The Goat Boy, any of those things?
Yeah, maybe I need to look more into that.
Yeah,
but,
he literally where he's like, now take the what bottle and shove it up my ass at a medium pace. I can't. He's got a lot of shock.
Okay,
you should
fair
probably
enough.
go look at
fair enough. But I do, and I think that shock comedy probably came out of comedy has been before that. It was very like formulaic, I guess, just very I've seen this before, and
fair.
now it's like, no, I haven't seen this before, and I was not expecting that, and that's why it's hilarious. I know I have that. I mean, I laughed harder than I have in a long time watching Everything Everywhere All at Once.
Oh, so good.
Like the fucking butt plug scene, I was fucking dying, and I wasn't expecting it at all. I don't think anyone was expecting it. And that was why it was so and it, there was a commitment to that bit.
Oh yeah.
That was just like, oh my God. Oh, it's a butt plug, and I'm like, that is like a multi-Oscar winning movie.
Oh yeah.
That is very like dramatic and very serious at times and very like, oh wow, I'm having real feelings in this movie that had guys trying to shove a trophy up their ass so that way they could get new martial arts skills. Like, and that's essentially why they were doing it. And it's like, that's the most absurd thing I've ever heard of in my life. And
the Matrix thing had already been done. So.
Yeah, right? That's what,
I know Kung Fu.
Honestly, that's what the Matrix sequels were missing, were more sex toys.
More trophies. Yeah,
yeah. And I'm like, come on, guys.
All right. I'm moving on to the next subject.
Sounds good.
Because at the rate we're going, I think we're only going to get through 2 today, but Jesus Christ. All right. So 9, have you heard about Ohio?
No.
Democratic lawmakers are beginning a contraception begins at erection act.
Does this mean what I think it means? Like,
tell me what you think it means, and we'll go from
they
there.
are essentially trying to prevent young men from getting aroused.
Little further than that. And I think this is kind of a really bad tit for tat kind of idea because of Roe versus Wade, all that stuff. They're trying to say, well, if conception really starts at procreation, or sperm hits egg, well then doesn't it really start when the man goes to ejaculate?
I mean, kind of, but that's a gross oversimplification.
Agreed. But they want to make it a felony for a man to discharge semen without the intent of procreation.
Oh, I'm going to jail.
Well, no, it's worse than that. I think I'd rather go to jail because they're for every offense. I think actually it's an escalator. I think it starts like 5,000 and then 7,000, but then after that's 10,000 for every time.
Oh my God, burn down Ohio.
Yeah,
like
and that's for sex without a condom, and not wanting to procreate.
Who the fuck came up with this?
The Democrats. I think this is quite literally like, this is one of those, oh, we're going to build this stupid bill so you guys realize how stupid you're being.
Okay. I mean,
but we're wasting our time with this shit. This is so.
Yeah. Like, this is a joke you make at a party later.
Right. Yeah,
like,
exactly.
This is not something you actually, like, put out there.
If this actually, I'd almost say, like, Republicans, sure, fucking pass that shit. Just so we have even more stupid crap to deal with, right? But I just thought that was funny. I saw that.
That is
and I was like,
insane. Oh my God. Like, the next fucking, like, Fahrenheit novel is going to be Fahrenheit, whatever the average speed is of a man ejaculating. Like, that's
Fahrenheit 5 miles per hour.
Yeah, something like that. Like, Fahrenheit, like, 13 and a half. That is absolutely insane. One of the dumbest things I've heard in my life. Like,
it was so good.
And if they're doing it to be funny, good on them. If they're not doing it to be funny, I want to move to Ohio just to feel the steam come out of my ears.
I just said, if you're going to Ohio, don't feel aroused. That's for darn sure.
Well, and maybe this is just like. And I kind of agree that people in Ohio probably shouldn't procreate.
I mean, this is getting proven to me just by this.
Yeah. Oh,
thing.
yeah. No. And I mean, and no one. I don't imagine anyone in Ohio wants to procreate because they're in fucking Ohio, and it's like I hear they grow 'em big out there.
I think their only export's crippling depression.
Yeah. No. And that's Washington. Washington's exported. That's kind of our thing.
Awkward.
Okay, it's raining. Nirvana. Like
Alice in Chains.
Yeah, like we are made for depression out here. Anyone who ever bitches about seasonal depression and they live in a different state, I'm like, shut the fuck up. You don't have problems. You don't know what problems are, you fucking idiot. Just tell people you're depressed. And I'm sorry, I also think seasonal depression is just such like a cop out. Like this is the hole we're going into.
Wow.
Yeah,
we're going down this one, all right.
Yeah, I do. And it's just like it's raining outside, so I'm in a bad mood. You know why I'm in a bad mood? Because I don't have any fucking money and the government is a bunch of idiots.
Tell me about it.
Anyone who's in charge of anything that actually matters to my life is a fucking idiot, and I have problems.
So I was thinking about the other day while I was watching the news, and I was like, you know what? I think I'm ready to reverse mortgage the U.S. Do you think we can sell it back?
Yeah.
To the UK, like, hey, Redcoats, come take this thing. Like, we're gonna keep living here, but like, when we finally kill each other, you can just take it back.
Wouldn't that be the most American thing to do, right? Like,
get Tom Selleck out here to start talking about, hey, we're gonna reverse mortgage our United States over to you because we're not good at this. We're not good at this governing thing.
This is not going well.
This has apparently been a bad idea.
Yeah. No, like
we only made it to the 47th president. Here we fucking are.
Yeah. Right. God.
I think I'm ready for that, just based on all that shit.
By the time we hit 50 presidents, it's like, you know what?
Fucking
let's try a king again.
I mean,
let's try a monarchy again and see what happens.
Like under a real king. Let's do this shit.
Yeah.
I'm in, fucking it's worked for Canada so long. It can't be that bad.
Yeah.
Let's go. I'm
They
in.
seem happy.
It's like a healthcare.
Seasonal depression, okay? The fucking Canadians must have like seasonal bipolarism.
No, right?
Like it's so extreme up there. It's either freezing fucking cold or it's fucking 30 days of sunshine. And it's like, those people have a right to feel affected by the weather.
The weather?
Okay? Yeah. And they're all the fucking, and the French are sensitive. So like they're like, I'm having, I'm gonna, have some wine and some cheese and a croissant and I'm gonna look out the window while it's raining. We lost the war for you guys almost, so rain is real sad. And it's like, you know what, little French person? You enjoy that croissant. You fucking earned it. Okay.
That nice flaky croissant.
Yeah.
While you listen to garbages, I'm only happy when it rains.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And I like that song except for the fact that I'm never happy.
So what's your second topic? Let's dig into that.
Okay, so and honestly, this is kind of just an extension on
Man, you're really up in arms about
the
this. Jesus
audacity
Christ.
of the last. Oh God, I came in fully cocked today. I am.
Whoa! Don't get into our high with that shit.
Oh right, my bad. That's funny. Ohio, don't worry. Like, I'm not coming for you. I'm not coming for you, and I'm not coming for you.
Just let me get you a bigger shovel.
Yeah, right? God, how do you just not have, like, all the condoms in the world in your backpack if you're in Ohio?
In Ohio, you have to. It's like, you're triple bag and just get on the bus.
Right, like, no, and this is from a couple weeks ago, and again, I'm just like, we have so many problems. Why is this? So
Go on.
this is the tagline for it. Business news. One big way Trump tariffs may upend Hollywood production.
Oh, boy.
That's where I'm at. I'm real worried about how the government is affecting the rich people in Hollywood and the movies and the TV shows and the music. That's who I'm worried this is going to affect. Not everyday people, not the middle class, lower class. Fucking Hollywood.
I mean, I was actually just listening to a podcast with Swisher and not Ben Affleck. Oh shoot, he was in Dodgeball and
Vince Vaughn?
no, the other one, the bad guy on that. He played the
Ben Stiller.
Ben Stiller.
Yeah.
But thank you. Jeez, they were kind of hinting at that a little bit too. So I guess that title doesn't surprise me. And I was thinking a little bit about it. Name one movie you've watched recently that wasn't. Oh, it's got Australia and half of Vancouver and Iceland. So,
Yeah.
Involved in it.
Well,
So I was curious a little bit about that.
I mean, I was not. Like the
We're definitely coming at this from different angles.
yeah,
here.
no, and
You're so angry this week.
well, and for me, I'm like, I'm really of all the things in the U.S. that I'm not worried about. Hollywood is, especially financially.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, they could lose some money. Like they have money to lose.
Yeah.
Okay. Like, what is it? Like the stigma is like what? Groceries cost like $350 now, and these tariffs is supposed to fix it. Like more or less, that's kind of the thing.
The thought, yeah.
And I'm like,
I won't get into the actual math.
yeah. But that's kind of the general American. That's what they either hear or say.
Right.
I'm like, I can't think of a Hollywood star who probably doesn't have $350 to spend on groceries. Because they do.
Yeah,
it's
probably.
like, why don't you go grocery shopping for yourself, spend those $350, and get the fuck over it? Because for me, that's a lot of fucking money.
No, makes sense. But I mean, I guess the title in general, I guess that's not the word they're concerned about. I think it's really the tariff, and how they're going to build these fucking movies.
Yeah.
And honestly, I don't even know if it's the money that I'm worried about as much as like we're losing a lot of credit in the world socially.
Yeah.
I wouldn't fucking work with anything American right now.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, for me, there's a difference between working with Americans
Right.
or working with an American government, like an American entity.
No, I get what you're saying.
And working with, like, Hollywood people.
And all of that makes sense. The protest won't.
Yeah. Which is fair.
Which is kind of my point a bit.
Yeah.
So that could be interesting. Extra snafus, making them go through extra visas, all kinds of shit, just because, America.
Yeah. No, and I know that I saw that this was way before we did the podcast. Otherwise, this would so be a topic. But I think, Donald Trump has like deputized like Sylvester Stallone and a couple other people to be like ambassadors to Hollywood from the government.
Oh, that's right. I fucking forgot about that. You're
and
right.
the reason why, part of the reason why is that the Best Picture Oscars over the last few years have sometimes gone to foreign films. And they're like, we want to bring that back to America.
Of course, that's.
And I'm like, that's who cares? You know, like I mean,
Well,
and
it's because he's a xenophobic fuck.
yeah, no, and the whole thing is just like bizarre of the him versus Hollywood thing where it's like, bud, you really, really want celebrities to like you, don't you, bud?
He wants everyone to like him.
Well, yeah, but they're not going to.
Well, that doesn't mean he doesn't want it.
Well, yeah, but I mean, I want everyone to like me, and it's like
That doesn't mean you're going to get it.
yeah. No, if valid,
Sorry, I'm over here in my black parade still. So.
yeah, right. If valid points made people like you, okay, I would be rich.
Oh.
Like,
No, sorry, I'm just being mean now.
Yeah, no, yeah. For those of you who didn't hear him sarcastically nodding at me, like, "Oh yeah, you make all the valid points," and I do.
This is very much a visual medium.
Yeah, right. But
Just being an ass. Sorry.
no, you're fine. You're fine. Like, yeah, totally. Yeah, you're making lots of valid points. This isn't, a comedy podcast. They're not Brad Pitt.
Right.
But yeah, no, and it's weird to have like ambassadors in your country to other things in your country.
When you need that kind of clout,
Yeah.
it's not a great look.
Yeah, no, and well, it's also like, I'm in the bar business. That's like, okay, every time you go and you sit at another bar, you are an ambassador of this bar that you work at.
Totally.
And
Absolutely.
you are. But it's also just common sense. Like, we're humans. There are social aspects to what we do.
I mean, like, my girlfriend's been in the service industry at this point. Like, I already kind of knew, like, you treat the people that serve you well, period.
Yeah. No, and it's a reflection of you, and you want these people to come back to your bar, and you want them.
Right.
And that's the thing, like, so, I mean, the obvious kind of international movie that's gotten, a lot of attention over the last 10 years would be probably Parasite.
Yeah.
The Bong Joon-ho movie, which, like, cleaned up at the Oscars. And
Hell yeah.
lots of people talk about what and I remember my mom even being like, and my mom is in her 60s. She's almost as old as you, but she was like,
There's their dig back. I was waiting for one.
yeah,
Fucker.
right. But she was like, I don't like I don't like a foreign movie winning best Oscar, or at least she said something along the lines of it being weird. Like, how did a foreign film win the Best Picture Oscar? And I told her, I was like, well, I watched a lot of the pre-interviews where it was like, okay, who do you think's going to win tonight? Mm-hmm. And the majority of them said Parasite.
Right.
So it was like, I get the, like, this is technically a foreign film, but I was also like, people like it. Americans in the industry like it. It's not a matter. And I'm like, at that point, it really is not a matter of whether or not where the movie was made.
Right.
What matters is that it was good.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that and my mom did kind of turn around on it. She's like, "Oh, I didn't know that." Well, that makes sense then. Which,
Right.
Which I'm like,
Well,
this is how most things should go.
I think that don't quote me on this, but I really will say that seems to have changed a lot since Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon.
Yeah, that's another good example.
That was one where you really did see cinema outside of the U.S. get a U.S. appeal, which honestly, if you think about the awards aren't for American movies. It's for awards for Americans who liked movies.
Yeah.
Period. So you almost need to flip that on its head to really kind of understand what it is.
Yeah, no, I agree completely, and I think that well, and to even devil's advocate the topic even more, Bong Joon-ho, the guy who directed Parasite, the only movie of his I've watched front to back was Snowpiercer. And Snowpiercer is largely English.
Yeah.
Where it's like, if you go both ways with it, where
Yeah.
it's like, yes, he's a South Korean. I think he's South Korean.
I believe so.
Filmmaker. I mean, but you could go Guillermo del Toro. You could go
Oh, yeah.
Alfonso Cuarón. These are international directors who
Artists and creators
have made English movies, which honestly I can only imagine being extremely difficult. By the way, I mean it's hard enough to make a movie,
right?
But being like, oh yeah, my first language is Spanish, and I'm working with a bunch of English speakers, and so much of that is being like, okay, I need you to do that again, but I need you to have this specific emotion instead of this specific emotion,
Right?
And it's like being able to convey that.
That's a lot.
Yeah, no, and so for me, if you, I go both ways with it, where I'm like, I really don't care that, foreign films are doing well in America.
Right.
Like, I'm like, good,
I love it. No, well, I spent so much of my life growing up watching Japanese movies and anime and all that. I'm the last person to say anything.
Yeah. Well, and I mean, and I'm a gamer.
Right.
Like, and as much as I love, most big games have like different dialects that you can have, and for me, obviously I speak English, so all mine are English, but it's like Sony is a Japanese company.
Yep.
And
they own American studios. I mean, think about that.
Oh yeah. No, and I'm 100% like I prefer the PlayStation to the Xbox. And the Xbox is American. It's Microsoft.
Yeah.
And so for me, and I don't hate Xbox. I'm a gamer, so I really don't care either way. But I prefer the PlayStation because
play PC, fuck you.
Yeah, right. I really should upgrade, but the I got the Red Ring of Death back in the day, and I was
so this is just a bitter.
Yeah, and I had to fucking sell like 20 of my games. Well, I had to not sell like 20 of my games because they were all no longer valuable because they'd been out for however many years.
Yeah,
and so I was like, I invested all this money in this thing, and it just decided one day it didn't want to work. And so now what am I going to do with my life? If I'm in Ohio, I'm killing myself. If I don't have a PlayStation and I can't masturbate, what else is there, Rob? What else is there?
Well, I'll take us out on this and we'll come back next week. My poor angry man. So, as you know, doesn't matter about all this, doesn't matter about stars, because in the end, it's all going to become AI. And then I'm just waiting for the first time where an AI band breaks up because of artistic differences.
Oh, I would watch that show in an instant. This week on Love, Death, and Robots. I would.
Oh shit!
Like,
nah, man, you're thinking about it. I'm like, I'm waiting. I mean, just
yeah,
her again, all over again.
Well, it's like Gorillaz, because Gorillaz is the one that they like. I like Gorillaz. They're super cool. Right. I would never go to a Gorillaz concert because it's just animations on a screen, and it's
usually
like
with some special guests or whatever.
Yeah, and it's like, what happens if they get in an argument? Like, do they put the screen up? And they
right?
They do the voiceover work and everything. Like,
totally.
I want to.
That's what I want. I want the first AI argument. They break up over artistic differences.
I want
ChatGPT and Gemini fall out.
Okay, so for like the next 10 seconds, I think we should yell at each other.
Okay.
And then if one of our listeners is like an animator and they can animate us arguing like we're breaking up the band.
Okay.
And be like, I would fucking love that.
No, this is fucking stupid. Don't ever think about that ever again.
You shut the fuck up, okay? You don't even fucking know what you're talking about, old man.
Oh yeah, fuck you, man. I don't know what to do with this anymore. I'm out here. Bye.
Okay.